Welcome to Horrors Yet Unseen, the podcast where we assign each other horror movies to watch and then talk about it so our spouses don't have to listen to us go on and on and on about scary stuff they don't like. I'm Zach.
And I'm Steve. Let's talk about some scary movies. By the way, there will absolutely be spoilers in this show. You have been warned. Are there any Steve Martin horror movies? I think there might be a couple that are considered that.
I mean, what, Father of the Bride,
well,
maybe?
Little Shop of
No.
Little Shop of
Like
Horrors.
Trains, Planes, and Automobiles is pretty horrific for Steve. You know, John Candy was a buffoon.
Yeah, those aren't two pillows.
So dumb.
There's a man with two hearts. Two men with two brains. Yeah. Okay.
It's cheaper by the dozen, two maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's yeah, definitely.
The horrors of having 12 children. Or is it the horrors of being overly fertile?
The horrors of not having proper access to contraceptives.
Yeah.
Well, this is weird. I searched for Steve Martin horror movies, and one of the things was this Chicago Tribune article, and it said Steve Martin to star in, quote, horrors film version. I'm like, what? Steve Martin and Rick Moranis will star in a film version of Hit Off I Brought It to a Musical, Little Shop of Horrors. I'm like, they're doing it again? I looked at the date, and it's August 29th, 1985. It's weird. It's weird to me that, I mean, obviously they can just stick that stuff up there, and, you know, Chicago Tribune's been around a while, but you don't often come across articles with ads for, it's like looks so up to date and so modern. And there's even a listen to this article button, and there's like video ads. I don't think of that as a 1985 article. I was 9 years old when this article was written.
I was not.
9 and 3/4. Were you 9 and 3? Were you a quarter?
What year was it?
85 August.
I was -2.
Wow, I'm old.
I wasn't born till 87.
Moving on.
Steve just realized the massive age discrepancy between the two of us.
Yeah. I end up being friends mostly with people who are slightly younger than me.
Well, I mean, that's all in an effort to get me to come to your funeral at the end of the day. I understand.
Well, you know, somebody's got to adopt my kids.
I am not going to adopt your adult children by that point. Like, you're completely adult children. And by that point, they'll more than likely have their own family. Like, no, I'm not. I can't do that.
Oh, Zach, you just don't have. I thought you cared.
Listen, it's not about caring. It's not about caring. If you had actual children, I still wouldn't do it. But that's neither here nor there. I would like puppies. I would find them a good home. This is also like I'm a little angry. So I don't care enough at the moment. But also I love you. And
I don't care about your children, but I love you. Yeah, okay.
I don't. Yeah.
One of these things is not like the other.
Trying not to be a jerk, but also I don't care. Yeah. So
Zach has a release date prediction for In Violent Nature.
Yeah, I do.
Tell us about your prediction for the release date. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so I want to see this movie, but I'm not going to go see it in theaters.
Okay.
I'm too scared. Okay. And
You can bring some like an adult diaper with you.
that might be at the older I get, dude. I can't drink in the theater anymore. Like I can't have any liquid in my bladder.
Nope.
Because movies are so long now.
They're getting longer.
Dude, I feel like
why are they getting longer?
I feel like such an old man at the moment because it's like, dang, movies are getting so long. Like, it's so crazy. Yeah, but like we've officially gone from 1.5 hour movies to 2 hour movies. Like 2 hour movies are the standard.
Yep.
So if I have liquid in my body, like by the last 30 minutes, 15 minutes of the movie, I'm like doing the pee-pee dance in my seat. I can't. And then if you have a post-credit scene, oh my gosh, dude, I gotta stick around for like 6 to 8 minutes, and then the credit scene. Oh gosh, it's so much. Anyway, enough about my bladder. I actually think that this movie is going to follow the same pattern as Late Night with the Devil because it is a Shudder movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I think June 28th.
What about June 28th?
I think that's so the path that Late Night with the Devil
before
took,
it gets on Shudder?
Yeah. The path that Late Night with the Devil took was March 22nd in theaters. 4 weeks later, on April 19th, it was on Shudder.
Okay, I thought you meant that some prediction about the release date at the theaters.
No,
because
like we already know that. We already know that.
Yeah, well, I thought you meant like you had a prediction for what might happen on that day.
Oh no, I have
like
zero.
12% of people are going to puke in the theater, or
no,
like
no. This is solely based on when I get to watch the movie in streaming. And May 31st, it came out in theaters. 4 weeks later, June 28th. Now, technically, Shudder has already announced their June lineup, so this may be immediately debunked.
Surprise.
But I think that if they don't modify that list, July 4th weekend, like we'll get it soon. It'll be the next. I'm going to say it's either going to be the end of June or the beginning of July.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think that it's going to follow the exact same path. It won't do like, Godzilla -1 and be.
Which is back on Netflix now.
Dude, it's on Netflix now. Yeah.
And I should watch it before it goes away.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to watch it too. I wish that they would have uploaded both. I really wanted to see Godzilla -1 in black and white. Yeah. Because they did both a black and white version and a color version. Same movie. No added scenes or scenes taken away. It was just black and white.
Just go to your TV and turn the saturation down all the way.
Tell me
and
what
it's black
to
and
do.
white, bro.
Don't tell me what to
Sorry, I was being
Steve.
helpful. I didn't mean to be. My bad.
Gosh, dude, you're like freaking toxic masculinity over here, bro. You're just mansplaining everything to me. I don't care. Gosh. Also, that was also needlessly aggressive, so I'm sorry. I tell my wife that all the time. She gets a little bothered by the fact that I'm like, every time she's trying to be helpful, I'm like, freaking stop telling me what to do. And she hates it. I'm sure she doesn't fully tell me how much she hates it, but I think she also knows by this point I'm just joking around. But our listeners might not.
Constant problem.
As this is only our 19th episode or whatever, 20th 19. Episode. I don't even know. Is this 19?
This is
19. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Well, happy 19th anniversary or whatever. And
that's bad luck.
It's it's bad luck for what?
I don't know. See, I just made it up.
Oh, okay. Well,
look at me. I'm a cult leader.
We'll get into that later.
Well,
Yep. We also got a movie recommendation, Steve.
yeah. Okay. What from who and when and what?
Okay.
What do you mean? We've gotten a lot of recommendations, Zach.
I
What do you
don't.
mean?
I don't know what you mean, but we've got a lot of recommendations because I've never seen a recommendation that we've gotten.
Well, maybe not to us. People have recommended me things in the past.
Oh, you're just talking about just general recommendations?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yes. In that case, what? Okay.
Go ahead.
So, friend of the show and fellow settler of Satan, Shelby, my friend Shelby, she recommended that I review the movie Slither.
Interesting.
So her text message, literally, Shelby's going to hate me for saying this, but she might also laugh at this moment. I'm going to get a text as soon as this episode drops and she listens to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a text message and it's going to make me laugh. So this is postponed gratification here. I got a text message from her. She said she doesn't like horror movies. Like she doesn't really watch horror movies a lot, but she likes to support what we're doing. She said, Zach, I have a movie review request. I said, shoot. She said, a text message that floored me. It was hilarious. She said, when I was in 8th grade, I made out with my boyfriend while watching Slither. Period. That was the whole text message. And I was like, not what I was expecting. Not even a little bit what I was expecting.
Do we have her signed consent that you can tell people?
No, this is full unsolicited. Like, I'm just sharing what she sent me. And which is why I said when she listens to this, I'm going to get a text message and be like, Zach, you shouldn't have done that.
This is a very interesting movie to have made out to.
That's also my thought. Like, I got a bunch of questions, Shelby. We can talk about this when you text me. But anyway, she's also married now. And I am like, what is going on? She was probably just being funny, I'm sure. But still, it was she mission accomplished. It was funny to me. So when I asked her, because I know the premise of our show is that you assign me movies and I assign you movies. So I was like, well, I don't really know how this is going to work because I clearly need to talk to Steve about this because I don't know. Neither one of us, according to Letterboxd, have seen this movie. But when I asked her who she wanted to review this movie, she said me because Steve is a stinky poo face.
Oh, that's accurate.
She did not say that. She didn't. I was just
love you too, Shelby.
I was just jabbing you. She didn't actually say that. But
well, do I have a treat for you?
What's your treat?
Remember a couple days ago, I just looked on the list and I said, what's the movie that's been recommended? And you're like, oh, wait for the podcast. I'm like, all right. So last night I watched Slither.
No, you didn't.
I totally did.
Dude.
I totally did.
This is unplanned. I mean,
look at my letterbox. Look at my letterbox. It's like a review is up already. Well, I didn't write anything. I just started.
Letterbox. Dude, 3.5 stars. That's amazing. Yes, that was that. Honestly, that was the movie Slither. She apparently, I'm getting from the text message. It's a great makeout movie. Apparently,
no. And then last night when I said, I'm excited about assigning you a couple of movies that I've seen lately. Not telling you which.
This was one of the movies.
This was the one,
dude.
This is literally the one.
Oh, this is the one.
Yeah. So there's maybe a couple more, but like this is the one I wanted. I was literally going to assign this to you today, Zach. So,
well,
I'm starting to get worried about her sources of information. What's going on here?
I don't know, man.
Did like Google hear you saying that or her saying that, and then it somehow influenced my search results on Letterboxd when I filtered the thing, and
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. This is a Big Brother. This has Big Brother written all over it.
everything's rigged.
Everything is rigged. We're on a simulation. Yep. Yep. So okay. Well.
Yeah.
Here's the question: is Slither on the list?
Yeah.
No. So we're kicking off this month for the next 4 weeks. We're kicking off a summer themed horror movie list.
Okay.
So the question is this movie summer themed like Friday the 13th or Sleepaway Camp or like summer themed horror movie? And you can assign it to me.
I forgot about that. So I can't. It's not a summer movie.
Technically, okay. So technically we got to wait. I was also going to assign you Godzilla -1 because as soon as I heard that it came out, I was like, dude, this is it. I got to assign Steve this movie. But because we're doing summer, I can't do that. It's not summer themed. But I also was like, I'm not going to make him wait. He'll watch it. He needs to watch this movie anyway.
Okay.
So, okay. Well, at some point, Shelby,
we can hold off and we can do a review later. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Also, we don't necessarily have to do a formal review. I could just
shoot
the breeze and talk about the movie.
We should talk about it. I mean, she's one of our biggest fans.
She actually is probably.
Biggest fan.
She may be our biggest fan. Yeah. So okay, well, Shout out Shelby. Shout out Settlers of Satan.
Definitely.
That's all Steve's got. Just definitely. Okay. Well, moving on.
Right.
What else?
What are we here? I lost my thing. So now I'm all thrown off because I was going to assign you that. Now I got to figure out a summer one. I'll figure it out along the way.
Well, I have the letterbox list that I sent you.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. That's right. Right.
So you could just. I did take. Okay. So full transparency. I did take a few of those movies off. A few movies off the list. So I think the list was 35 at the time that I sent it to you. I don't know specifically what it is at the moment. It might be like 25. Let's see. Yes, there are 28 movies on there. So I took a couple off because this year I'm going to do Slasher September again. And some of the movies that I put on the June's list were also going to be in Slasher September because I've already decided what movies I'm going to watch. And I didn't want you to assign me a movie that was going to interfere with Slasher September.
Okay.
So I did take a couple movies off. Full transparency.
Fine. I'll let it slide.
I appreciate that. I gotta protect Slasher September. I still need to come up with a name for my October list. Like Slasher September is fun, but like
Occult October.
Occult October. Nothing gets me jazzed though. Like that didn't get me jazzed. Like Slasher September does. That's a cool name. Occult October. Yeah. So if you're listening and you have any recommendations, 216-202-5495. Call us up, leave us your recommendations, or hit us up on Instagram, horrorsyetonunseen@gmail.com. Just reach out in general.
Right.
Say hey. Just say hey.
Hi.
Anyway. Steve, we should talk about Father Amorth.
Yeah, the Devil and Father Amorth. This is a documentary sort of thing, right?
This movie, documentary, I didn't make it through a lot of it. I shouldn't say that. I made it through a good portion of it. But
you didn't get there, or you just had to skip because it's
I didn't finish it.
Okay.
There was a part when I fully pressed stop. I stopped the tape. I ejected it from the VCR, and I was like, I'm not done. I'm done with this. I didn't even rewind it.
Yeah.
Please be kind and rewind. No. Eject.
Unkind.
Um. So this documentary basically is from the director of The Exorcist,
Uh-huh.
William Friedkin or Friedkin.
So he directed The Exorcist and he's directing this documentary.
He narrates it too. So he
Oh.
stars in it. He narrates it. Like he's the one who had I don't want to say obsession, but he had a relationship with or wanted to get to know Father Amorth because, he directed the movie The Exorcist, and Father Amorth is the exorcist. He's the chief exorcist of Rome, right? Or was. I don't know if he's still alive.
I think he died.
R.I.P.
He died.
Okay, he died.
Yeah.
Super sorry. Sorry about that. Anyway, but also shout out Father Amorth. Shout out from heaven, bro. We know you're listening. So this movie shows Father Amorth performing an exorcism on a woman, and it's her 9th freaking exorcism.
Wow.
Okay. So
Steve, as in 9th spirit or 9th time they've tried?
9th. I think it's just 9th exorcism. So that's the way that they explain it.
Okay, good.
Like she's had, this will be her 9th exorcism.
Okay.
And that led me to wanting to ask you, like, what do you think about exorcisms? Both pre and post deconstruction.
Pre, I was back when I was a Christian, when I considered myself a Christian, I would say I didn't believe in anything now. That I figured I had this really weird theology that supernatural stuff like that was real, and there were like demons and whatnot that Jesus exorcised, I guess, cast out of people.
Okay.
And but at one point there was like a switch that flipped that we don't have that stuff anymore, so we don't have like these miracles and stuff anymore. And so I figured that the stuff now was bunk, or it was people it was either people totally faking it on both sides, or people faking it on one side, not the other, or both people legitimately thinking that they were going through an exorcism or whatever, and they're not. But either way, I don't think it's real.
And now
there's a lot of mental health stuff around it.
Yes,
and a lot of fascinating things that our brains can do to truly believe things that are not real. Or the fascinating also is people who go along with things knowing it's not real, but they work themselves up to make them. I don't know. We have ways of making ourselves accept things that are not there or real.
Yes. You start with the fact that demons are real and the spiritual realm exists, and that demons have the ability to afflict people, and you arrive at exorcisms. Mm-hmm. Like you arrive at we need spiritual guidance out of demon possession.
Right. And I think, unfortunately, it's been a lot of people who have had schizophrenic problems which is at the base of it, not a not a dissociative identity disorder, like multiple personalities, but it's this feeling that you don't understand what reality is or isn't with schizophrenia. And so if you are hearing things, perceiving things, and you think it's like some demon come after you, you may legitimately believe that and go to a priest and say, this is happening to me. And they're like, let's get that out of you. And then they just push you through this stuff until you end up kind of passing through a phase anyway, because a lot of people with schizophrenia have like phases, and they go through phases of believing things and then they don't.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think it's unfortunately led to a lot of bad psychology and bad therapy for people who need help. Like lack of progression toward the help, I should say. Sorry, that's probably more of an answer than you wanted.
No, that's exactly. I wanted to know what your thoughts were. So, short answer, long answer. Funny answer, serious answer. It doesn't matter.
If you ask me what I think, I will tell you.
Yeah, fantastic.
Right.
That's exactly what. That's exactly what we want on a podcast. So, Steve, I got some facts about Father Amorth,
Okay.
and that kind of debunk a little bit what we talked about the last time we talked about Father Amorth. So it turns out 18 was not the time that he started performing exorcisms. So because of, well, I think the last time we talked about this, we were like, because of the amount of quote unquote exorcisms that he performed, we were like, all right, he at least had to start at 18. And it was like 3 point whatever exorcisms a day that he would have to perform in order to accomplish this. Turns out,
Yeah, I just assumed 18 was as early as he could have started. That's kind of why.
yes, exactly. That makes complete sense. Turns out at 18, he joined the army. So he joined the army to fight against Hitler and Mussolini.
Oh.
Okay. 10 years later, at age 28, he became a priest.
Wow.
So 28 would technically be the earliest we could go. So we've cut 10 years off this guy's exorcism career. It wasn't until he was 58, so 30 years later, that he became the chief exorcist of Rome.
Oh, okay.
So
Found
I'm
his
going to
niche.
guess that he was some sort of, I don't know how he got introduced to exorcisms in order to like start the path towards chief exorcist of Rome.
Yeah.
So I think at least 28 is a safe bet for.
Yeah.
I'm also very interested in how, like, what was life like that this became his path? Because I would think that it would have to be pretty predominant, or some major impactful moment happened, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I need to dedicate my life to this."
Gone along with an exorcism. Yeah. Like helped out or observed or something.
I'm going to assume he started out with like helping out and observing, and later then became the guy, right?
Yep. Probably.
But still, it does cut 10 years off of our prediction. So that's not 3 point whatever exorcisms a day. Now we have significantly increased that. On top of that, in this documentary, he's giving one woman her 9th exorcism. So if that's true, each exorcism doesn't equal one person. So like the 100,000
unless he's counting every one of those as 9. You said it, 9th exorcism. He's probably counting it as 9 exorcisms too.
That's what I'm saying. So he's not, he's not counting
not that many people.
He's not counting her as like those 9 exorcisms as one exorcism.
I see.
So the 100,000 exorcisms that he did is not 100,000 people. That's just 100,000 exorcisms. This woman had 9 of those.
Right.
Which 9 that's a lot of exorcisms, bro. Like, at what point do you just go, I need to go talk to somebody else? Like, I get faith like a mustard seed, blah, blah, blah. I'm not crapping on that, even though I just said blah, blah, blah. That might undercut what I'm about to say. But I just think, like, at some point, you just you might just come to the end of your rope and just go, I don't think that these are working. Like,
right.
I mean, because the definition of insanity, right? Like, the definition of insanity is the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So at what point, how many exorcisms does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop is really the question. Like, I don't, and for this woman, 9 was, I don't know if 9 was it, because I didn't get past her exorcism.
Okay.
I want you to watch this movie. The out for me for this movie. Father Amorth permits William to come in, not with the crew, just with him and basically a camera, and he permits him to record the exorcism. So Father Amorth drapes like his purple cloth,
Yep.
whatever sash over her. Leads a couple people in prayers and blah blah blah. The whole thing's taking place in Italian because Father Amorth is Italian, and the woman at the point the woman started. First off, Father Amorth says that he doesn't know that a person needs an exorcism until he starts performing one.
Okay.
Which immediately debunks all of the exorcism movies where people start, like, their eyes change colors and their skin starts to turn into blah, 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 whatever. Like, none of that's real. I never thought that it was to begin with because exorcism movies are trash movies anyway. But, you know, I thought it was funny that the guy over all exorcisms is like, I don't know. I don't know. Until we get in there, I don't really know.
We probably should not be surprised that the reality or quote unquote reality of the thing is not as exciting or dramatic as the TV or movie versions.
Well, here's the problem with that. The thing that made me eject the tape was when she started to reject the act, like he started to say the prayers, and at some point she started to kind of lash out. When she started to speak, when she was lashing out, she started to talk in that two-toned voice that you hear in Hollywood movies where there's like a high and a low.
Huh. Yeah.
And I literally stopped the documentary and out loud was like, no, I'm done. I'm done. Because there's no way. That's because the skill is possible for you to do that. It's possible for you to, but it takes years of vocal training to really get that done. And it was difficult for me to believe that this tiny little Italian woman had that training. And I went, the director of the movie The Exorcism is adding stuff to this documentary to make me believe that, and it was too outlandish. I had to suspend too much disbelief. If he had just left it alone, I'd have still watched it. It's too much, Steve. You should watch it. I'm going to
concerned you that it was real type thing?
Huh?
Like it concerned you that it was real, or you're like, this is just stupid?
Okay.
I'm missing what...
I was already on the fence about exorcisms being real or not. But then you add on top of that, okay, we're going to get to see an exorcism from Father Amorth. Okay, I'm in.
So when she started speaking with two voices, you're like, this is too real?
Yep. It was not that it was too real. It's that it was too Hollywood.
Oh. So it made you mad?
It ceased to be real at that point. If she had just kind of started to scream and just be like, no, and just if her voice had just simply lowered and whatever, it was the fact that her voice did this two-toned thing. And I don't know what the technical term is. That's why I'm saying two-toned. Like it was an upper and a lower register at the same time.
Yeah. Polyphonic.
That I've seen in every exorcism movie forever.
Yep.
And yeah, it was the fact that in real life that happened. And I was like, no way, dude. No way. This is not real. This is not real. This is staged. This is fake. Freaking just. but also everybody reacted like it was completely normal. Nobody was like, holy, like no one.
That's because when they were filming it, that didn't sound that way. That they tweeted it in post.
That's my point. Is that they freaking are messing with us. It didn't happen in the room. They messed with it in post, and that made me completely disbelieve that this is real.
I think you're completely right. It's like,
yeah.
But like, I was thinking, there's this she's like a 17 or 18-year-old Russian singer named Diana Ankudinova, and she can sing polyphonically. It's freaky.
It's
she can harmonize with herself.
Yeah, it's unsettling,
and it's like so there's this video. You look it up sometime. It's she's singing "I Can't Help Falling in Love with You," and it's like a short version of it, and put on like good headphones or something and turn it up, and it like made my my brain like vibrate. It was like buzzing.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It was so really, really good.
But it took years of vocal training for her to get to that point.
Yeah, and that's not the point that I'm making. I'm just saying it is possible.
It is possible, but that's why I said, you mean to tell me that this tiny little Italian woman took years of vocal training to be able to do this thing and switch it on in this particular moment? And like, the answer to that is no. She does not have the ability to do this. The director of this documentary went in, who just so happens to be the director of the movie The Exorcist, went in post and changed the audio to make this particular exorcism out to be more than it actually was. And I called bullcrap immediately, and I was like, I don't care. This is dumb. This is not real. It's not real. If you can't just let this exorcism be whatever it's going to be, real or not real, if you're trying to mess with me like that as a viewer, get the heck out of here.
Yeah. I mean, well, welcome to the world of money for movies. Right?
Listen, man, I'm fine with money for movies. I'm fine with it. It's an exchange that is the whole freaking premise of this podcast is money for movies. But
no, what I meant was I didn't mean money for movies. That was just too simplified. What I meant was everything is commercial, and even things that we are told are like, here's a documentary of fact, and like we're really looking into this. It's one of those kind of do your own research things.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna, if they can fit in a product placement, they will. If they can tweak for a political ideal or agenda, they will. So, truth is completely relative to most people in reality.
Well, I just thought, like, if you're gonna try to show this exorcism and Father Amorth for what they actually are, if you really want to for people to actually experience this exorcism for one of the first times people get to see an exorcism, and you're going to manipulate the footage like that or the audio like that, and turn it into a Hollywood production instead of just letting the footage be whatever it is.
But Zach, they did. That's totally real, totally true.
The fact that you're gaslighting me right now, bro.
No, I'm being sarcastic because
I know.
I mean, that's what they're trying to get across. Like, well, we didn't touch it, this is real. It's proof.
Yeah.
Proof. It's on video.
Yeah. And I would say, then show me. Let me either be in the room when this is happening, or show me the raw footage. Give me the videotape. I'll open up the little screen that's on the video camera and I'll hit play. And if I hear that in the raw, unedited footage, I'll believe. Show me your hands, Jesus. Like, that's all I got to say. Show me your hands.
Yeah.
Like, I'll believe. I don't know, man. It was too much of a suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
It was too much of a suspension of disbelief.
Yep.
It was also her ninth exorcism, and I'm like, just I don't know, man.
That's why
Anyway.
it's one reason I really get tired of exorcism movies, because I feel like they're just toying with people. They're just playing on the beliefs of a group of people, specifically Catholics. We love you, Catholics, but um, that's what they're all Catholic propaganda films, really, unless they're the ones where like the exorcist gets killed or the exorcism doesn't work. And I would even argue the fact that it takes the Morth, quote unquote, 9 times Grace. Sorry.
Okay.
What movie is that from?
I have no
Ferris
clue.
Bueller's Day Off.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Anyway, have you seen that?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was gonna hang up immediately if you hadn't, and made you go watch it. Anyway, the fact that it took a Morth 9 times, to me, is like it's proof that it's a joke, because God is, Jesus is more powerful than the demon. So why did it take you freaking 9 times?
Well, there's no, we could get into this a little bit more. I have thoughts about this, but we're going to be here for a minute. If I continue, if that dam breaks, it's going to be too much. So we should just move on to the first.
That sounds like that sounds like a special episode, to be honest.
Yeah, let's have Father Amorth on. Let's get a Ouija board. Let's have Father Amorth on, and we need to ask him some questions. That's the next bonus episode, peeps. That's it.
Absolutely.
Look for it.
So
I don't want to do that. I'm just going to say that out loud. That freaks the crap out of me. I ain't got any time for Ouija boards. I've seen too many bad movies, dude.
Yeah. The First Omen is now on Hulu streaming for folks who have Hulu, or if you don't have Hulu, it's still streaming on Hulu. And is Immaculate's not streaming it, is it?
I don't believe so. It is out in digital. It's not streaming.
Like you'd rent it or something.
You can rent it, is what I mean.
Yeah, right. So we, Zach and I were having a bit of a text conversation back and forth about which one of these is better. I don't think we have quite time to go through an entire which one's better. I personally like The First Omen the most, and I hadn't realized, Zach, that you hadn't seen that until this past week that you saw it on streaming.
I did.
See, I thought I don't know why I could have sworn that you'd seen both.
No,
but either way.
Okay, this is what I wrote down. As far as shock value, storytelling, and movie ending, I think that Immaculate wins over The First Omen. I think it has a better shock value, better storytelling. Like the story is just better, and the ending of the movie, like that shocking ending of the movie,
it was intense.
Far better. Like it's a clear winner. It's a clear winner to me. I didn't entirely find the First Omen to be very engaging. Like there were these are basically my notes. There were 2 ties to the original Omen movie. Both ties, in my opinion, were completely unnecessary. This movie could have been a standalone movie and been just fine without those connections to the Omen.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Now in the 2 that I'm talking about, I think there were only 2, right?
Do you mean like the photo at the end?
I mean when that nun gets up and she says, "This is all for you."
Right, there's that, yeah.
Right? So that was the first callback to the Omen. And then at the end, when the baby is born, it's basically the beginning of the movie The Omen.
Yeah.
Where they find the senator's family or the chancellor's family or whatever his title is, and ambassador. And yeah. And then Damien is his name. So there's 3. So right at the very end, when the priest comes back to visit, quote unquote, the mother who's now in hiding.
Right.
They've named the baby Damien.
Damien.
And then the movie's over, right? So there's technically like 3 references.
Are you including the one where they open the file and there's a picture of Cary Grant? She's like, it's like, here's the person who you're handing it off to, and they're looking at a picture of Cary Grant from the Omen movie,
right? Yeah, but that picture is like at the end of the movie,
right?
When they
so
are
you're
talking
saying
about
you didn't like it as much because it could have been a standalone movie without having to go on into the Omen.
I didn't think that the connection to the Omen, the original movie, The Omen, was necessary for this movie. Having said that, the story in general was not as engaging to me as Immaculate. The story that was the movie Immaculate, far better storytelling. The diving into what is going on was done better in Immaculate. Same premise ish, same kind of premise, but they go a little bit more in depth. I think a little bit show a little bit more of the process in Immaculate, rather than just kind of alluding to these far off kind of people who are like, they just show files and whatnot of deformed babies and things like that. And you're like, all right, that's just fine. But you're not showing test tube stuff. You're not showing the same stuff that you did in Immaculate, which was the thing that kind of drew me in. When she was going through the catacombs and whatnot, like that, the lab and all of that was way more engaging than what they were doing in the movie, The First Omen. And so I also wrote this down. This movie is also a prequel, and I might argue that it's unnecessary to begin with on that premise alone. So I don't know how many years have passed since the original movie, The Omen.
Like 73?
Yeah, so we have, I mean, it's too long. It's too long of a time. It's too long of a time. And now all of a sudden you have this desire
I disagree. I mean, you can have prequels.
To make a prequel, and also you're not adding anything to the story. We freaking already know how Damien got here.
We didn't know that exactly. We didn't know that it was like literally a demon like raping a woman.
Okay,
you know,
you're right.
And then
you're right. I did write that down.
Necessity is an interesting concept to bring up around this kind of thing, because it's like it's a story.
Yes, nothing is necessary when it comes to any of it.
I mean, you don't have to know the background. I mean, I could say that, I guess, like, to me, if you go a step further back and like, let's have the backstory of this gal's childhood. Oh, okay. I don't necessarily need to know that, but if it was a good movie, if it was interesting, I like the first one better. Like, to me, it's very, very, very close tie, I think. But the first Omen, I liked the visuals better. I liked some of the cinematography was amazing. And there was, again, same thing with with Immaculate. But I liked I have something bothered me about the Immaculate concept of spoiler of using DNA from quote somebody they thought was Jesus and replicating that, and that seemed kind of weird. It's like, I liked how First Omen leaned into the supernatural aspect of it, but Immaculate's like, let's make it all sciencey, which is fine. Yeah. Again, I would still give Immaculate 4.5 stars. So
I think that's more. It's just a preference. Like the science behind Immaculate gave me a little bit more groundedness. Like they understand that this miracle cannot take place. so we're going to do it ourselves. Same thing in the
Right.
first Omen. They were doing it themselves and they were calling it God's work, right? Same premise in both movies, but I don't know. I personally enjoyed the the quote unquote, four quotes behind this, right? Practicality of, and then them hiding behind this is immaculate conception when really it's not immaculate conception. This they completely they've done something here. But then again, like I said, the way that they told the story, I thought was better, and also the shock value outside of the devil's hand coming out of that woman's chucha. This movie was not all that shocking. And Immaculate had several moments that were incredibly shocking. From the very start of the movie all the way through to the very end, when she crushed that baby with a rock.
Mm-hmm.
It left me in the theater with my mouth was open. And then because the credits rolled and I was like, what? This is wild. They didn't just end this movie. Like, I think for shock value and storytelling, for me, it is a night and day difference. I'm not saying that the first Omen was a bad movie. What I am saying is this, is like what I would have rather wanted with the story, The Omen, in general, is a full ground up remake. Do a 3-movie trilogy, which is redundant to say. Mm-hmm. Do a trilogy where you basically start with the first Omen. You're going to then remake the movie, The Omen. And then the third installment is going to be Domination. Because I don't think Damien died at the end of the movie, The Omen. Everybody else died, but not Damien. So Damien, like, I want to see him take over.
Yeah.
I want to see their evil plan come to fruition. Mm-hmm. But, that's me.
Have you seen Good Omens?
What? Yes, I've seen are you talking about the show Good Omens?
Yeah.
Yes, I haven't seen the latest season or like the last half of season 2.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean the first season of Good Omens is basically this story. It's a parody of The Omen.
Right.
And it's I don't know, it just made me think of it. It's how I don't know. It'd be cool to see a trilogy of, like, if this was the first of a trilogy. They clearly wanted to do something with it. Because they left it obviously open. Like there's a girl version of this Antichrist.
Right.
So what happens with her?
Right. And is this good versus evil? Like,
yeah. Then maybe they'll have maybe they'll kind of make a new track.
And that's kind of what I want. I want them to expand. This was a good starting film, but I think they should expand the universe, remake the movie The Omen, and maybe not necessarily remake, but reimagine the movie.
Yeah.
Because I went back and I watched. I mean, I've seen recently. I shouldn't say that I went back and I watched. I've seen recently the movie The Omen, and there's no mention of a sister.
No, because nobody knew. They didn't care. They thought she died.
Right.
It's just kind of like it's
they
like
said
Luke and Leia.
Yeah, I guess it's just evil Star Wars.
It is.
It's just evil demonic Star Wars. Everything is evil demonic Star Wars. Okay, well, and that's where we're going to end that one. Okay, fantastic. Well, do you want to Want to get into movies that we've seen this week?
One last thing, we should congratulate Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, yes.
Happy 36th birthday, Killer Clowns.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You are still as average a movie as you ever were.
The views of Steve Martin do not reflect the views of Horrors Yet Unseen podcast.
Love you, Zach.
I don't think that that's true. Okay? Because if you did, you would understand that the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space is one of the greatest movies that's ever been made. Okay?
Yes, it is. You're right.
You're pandering now?
I've seen the light now.
Suddenly. You haven't. It's not real.
Okay.
Nope. I actually believe in the 9th exorcism of that woman a whole lot more than I believe you right now. Okay? And that's saying something because I don't believe that at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll be good.
Yeah. So
yeah, let's go ahead and move it.
Yeah, great.
With the movies.
What have you seen, Steve?
I have seen Mad Max Fury Road. All Mad Max movies are officially overrated and all about driving cars and pretending to look for water while you shoot things at each other and get sand up your crack.
Yeah. Nobody talks about that in those movies about sand up your crack, but that has to be a major problem that everybody's got.
These movies are dumb, Zach. Just freaking dumb. I will stand by that.
Yep.
Good movie, however, that's not dumb. Uncle Peckerhead.
Okay. Well, that's a hard pivot, dude. That's a hard pivot. Oh my gosh.
Prime kept recommending this movie to me is because it's a horror comedy, and I kept not watching it because, Zach, it's called Uncle Peckerhead.
Of course.
And I mean,
it can't be that good.
No. So, but I watched it and I gave it 4 stars because I laughed so hard with that thing, and the fact like Uncle Peckerhead is he's like the nicest dude, and so helpful and so caring and loving this band that's trying to make it big, but all the while being a human eating demon. So it's fun. And then I watched Hard Candy, which was very good. And Elliot Page, good grief, can that person act? Oh my word! This was back when he was going by Elliot. What was it, Elliot? Elliot. Now what was it for? I forget. Anyway, Ellen. Yeah, back when he was going by Ellen Page, and 14 years old, playing a 14-year-old at the same time, and this, oh boy, she goes and finds she tracks down basically a pedophile, and kind of like threatens to out him and threatens to castrate him and all this stuff, and it's heavy, it's good. So I thought that was a really good movie. I'm going to move on to the next movie that I have recommended for me, The Collector.
Bad decision.
No, it's bad decision, Zach. Because I looked at the thing, and it's got decent reviews on Letterboxd, and I saw that Zach didn't like it very much. It had 1 star, but I watched it, and I should have trusted Zach on that one because it was not good. It was stupid.
Not good.
Then I saw Remember Me, which is not a horror movie, but it's about lost love and trying to find whatever. I started watching it because it was on a list of the biggest twists at the end ever. And if I don't want to spoil it, but it's a drama romance movie, and the last couple minutes is this twist ending. But that's about it. But it's good. It's well done. Saw Dead End, which was a fascinating. it's something else. The Harbinger, which was killer good. I'm not going to give that away because you're going to get that someday, Zach. It's
The Harbinger.
Yeah, it's scary. Then I watched Jason X, unfortunately, and then I saw Slither last night, which is just fantastic.
Is it a good makeout movie?
If what constitutes a good makeout movie? Like a movie that you don't want to look at because it's gross.
You know,
I've
I
never
don't
made out to a movie.
know.
I'll watch the movie and like pause it, then you make out, and then you play it again. Who wants to miss the movie? I don't got time for that.
I understand.
I guess maybe if you're multitasking, that's probably better. But
Yeah.
I would not put this movie on and think romantic thoughts in any way, shape, or form.
In any way, shape, or form. Yeah.
No.
That's the question that I have for Shelby is like, what was going on?
If it's one of those, it's scary. So like the girl does the movie thing and goes, oh, and grabs onto the guy and shoves her
That
head in
might
his
be
shoulder,
it. That might be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fully it. Okay, well, this week I saw Ghosts of Mars, which is a John Carpenter movie.
Oh, okay.
Now, here's the deal, Steve. I have no clue how John Carpenter can direct the movie The Thing and Halloween and also Ghosts of Mars. Like,
not a good movie.
I don't know that I would call it a good movie. I would call it a movie.
Okay.
It is a film that I watched. That's it. That's as specific
the same
as
John Carpenter, right?
Same dude. Same guy.
He's kind of hit and miss though, man.
Oh man. Yeah.
He's got some good ones, but there's some really.
And that's my question. What's happening here? What's happening here? Anyway, I watched the movie Deadpool. I rewatched the movie Deadpool. Still great.
Agreed.
I very much want to get the Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn bucket now. I don't know. Have you seen this?
No. I'll look it up.
You should look it up. Yep. So Deadpool, Kevin Feige made a promise at like one of the, or a reveal, I should say, at one of the Marvel conventions or Disney conventions or whatever, that Deadpool was going to quote unquote make a Dune-like popcorn bucket. And they revealed it this past week. Ryan Reynolds revealed it this past week, and it is Wolverine's face, and he's
the giant goofy mouth.
Yeah, so funny. And I very much like.
Deadpool's like stroking the side of it.
Dude, so funny. It's so funny. Yeah. Are you watching the trailer for the?
Yeah, just like on mute, but yeah, it's so funny. It's his giant mouth. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that's gonna be
It's gonna be great, is what it's gonna be. I genuinely thought about like, you see the butter part?
That's what I said.
I saw your face and I was like, he got to the butter part. Yeah. So good. I love it.
One of the comments on this says, I need a shower.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a good popcorn bucket. I do want to get it. Like I'm going to pay $25 for the popcorn bucket or whatever it is. But it makes me want to go early because I missed out on, I missed out on the Slimer popcorn bucket from Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And I hate the fact that I missed out on it. And I want to just, I don't know.
July 26th.
I don't entirely want to go on Thursday to see the movie, but I fear that I might have to in order to actually get it. Like this is going to be such a giant movie.
Is your theater set up in such a way that you can go into the concessions without going through the line?
So the ticket counter is before the concession stand.
Oh, so you can't skip it. Okay.
So you go buy your ticket through the door to the guy standing there, and he scans your ticket and goes theater this way, theater that way. And then you go, through the little line
and then you're at the concessions?
and then you're at the concessions, and you
Oh,
can
okay.
and you can either go left towards like theaters 1 through 8 or 9 through 15 over here on the right.
Yeah, our theaters all have all the ones here have like all concessions are right up front, and then you take your concessions and get your ticket scanned, and then you go in.
Yeah,
So I was thinking if you could just go in like on Thursday, get your popcorn bucket and leave.
that's exactly honestly, that's exactly what I want to do. Like I want to drive to the theater on Thursday and just go, hey, I'm here for the popcorn bucket. I'm going to buy a ticket for this movie later. Can I just go get some popcorn and come back out? And like, if you need to have an attendant with me to like handcuff me to an attendant so I don't go accidentally like sneak into a theater, I'm fine with that. I know that Cinemark allows you to buy, like they work with DoorDash.
So can you? Yeah, I was about to say, can you DoorDash this thing?
They work. No, I live like 35 minutes from the theater. There's no way somebody's going to drive 35 minutes to give me a popcorn bucket, and I'm not going to tip them. That's crazy. Paying $25 for popcorn, 35 minutes here, and I got to give them like, that's a crazy drive. But yeah, I would try to do that. That's my thought. Anyway, I saw Deadpool. It's still fantastic. I need to watch Deadpool 2 now and then go see Wolverine and Deadpool. I saw The First Omen. Pretty decent movie. I saw the movie Apostle. We'll get into that in a second. I started to watch Uncle Peckerhead. I started.
Okay.
I was not in the right mental state to receive this movie. Okay.
Like you said, receive it. That's good.
I was not like what it wanted to give me. I was like, I don't think so right now. It's you or it's me, not you. Like,
right.
I need some distance. We need to take a break.
Yeah.
I also started the movie Tarot, which I was very excited to. I missed that one.
This
in
the one
theaters.
that came out. Oh, okay. It didn't.
I missed that one in theaters, and I wanted to watch it, and it came out, and I started to watch that. I think I got about halfway through the movie, and just life happened or whatever. Maybe I just got bored. I don't know. I don't really know, but I forget it at the moment. But yeah, so 6-ish movies this week, which that's a decent amount of movies.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, all right, Steve. Let me hear your thoughts on Jason X.
Jason X.
I'm so excited for this.
Buckle in, my friend. Okay. Jason X actually the 10th movie?
Yeah.
In the line? Okay, I just want to
I'm almost positive. Yeah, that's why they call I think that's why they call it Jason X is because
I was gonna say like the 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Mac OS 10. You don't see Mac OS X unless you're a nerd in the wrong way.
Yeah. This one is actually Jason. I think it's Jason X. It's not Jason 10. This one's Jason X.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's the 10th movie. I think Friday, Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday is 9.
Okay.
And then Jason X is the 10th movie. Yep. I mean, you might make the case. I don't know where it falls. You might make the case that the remake. I don't know when the remake came in, and I don't know when Jason versus Freddy came in.
Well, yeah, okay. In the sort of timeline of the movies. Anyway,
yes.
It's a strange. So, spoiler alert. This is a smoking hot turd in every way, shape, and form. I had never wanted a smoking hot turd button before as much as I did this time because it pained me to give it a half a star.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
So this is a quote unquote movie that is at best a low budget, third rate, early 2000s sci-fi cash grab of a TV show like Babylon 5 or Andromeda.
Oh my gosh.
At best.
At absolute best. Okay.
At best. I mean, so much so that I like half of the cast are like side characters on Andromeda, Babylon
Yeah.
5,
Uh-huh.
Stargate, Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, Stargate Universe.
There's that many Stargates?
There's like 5 series. Yeah, they're all. So I'm a Stargate stan, if you will. Love it. I love all of it.
Okay.
Don't talk bad.
Sorry, I didn't know. I wasn't going to, but apparently now I'm not even allowed. So okay.
I mean, it even has all the trope characters. Even it's got the cocky professor who's better than you because brains. The hot
Because
stupid
brains,
chick,
yes.
right? The hot stupid chick who almost shows her boobs the entire movie. And then a tough talking black security officer who doesn't take shit from anybody. Sorry, to bleep that out. Snarky spaceship pilot who wears a mushed up cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Every movie. Sexy android who quotes odds of surviving in percentages.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
A young gal who's obsessed with a boy. Aww. Tough as nails lady from the past who was frozen with the bad guy and is the only hope of stopping Jason. And she's like, scrappy and smart. And then so many more characters, none with any purpose but to get killed.
Yep.
None of these characters there for anything at all but to get killed, look hot, or like be a sort of a funny thing. Oh, and there's a guy who's fallen in love with the android, of course. Don't forget that. So this is I'm going to approach this very similarly the way I did previous movie. I forget which one it was. It's just so bad. I want you to know what happens so you don't feel tempted to pay $3.99 and rent this like I did. You owe me $3.99, by the way, Zach.
I'm not going to pay you $3.99. I'm not. You agreed to do this podcast. You can expense the $3.99.
This is like the only Jason movie that you can't. It's not streaming anywhere. Like as far as I can tell, it's weird.
Yeah, there may be a reason for that.
Okay, movie starts out. It's a forever opening title sequence that lasts like half the movie, in which they very slowly show Jason Voorhees at Crystal Lake Research Facility. We'll throw back to the original.
Mm-hmm.
He's being locked up and hooked up to a bunch of tubes, and he's very awake the whole time. Like his eyes are wide open. But they're hooking him up. And then a guard throws his towel over his head because Jason's creeping him out. And wonder what's going to happen there. And enter some scientists who argue about Jason's, quote, unique ability to regenerate lost and damaged tissues is remarkable. We need to study him. And young hot scientist says, don't take him. And the old dude scientist says, no, he's too important. And then young hot lures him into cryo chamber and starts the freezing process. After he goes crazy and starts killing people, she goes to check and he stabs her with a machete through the 3-inch steel door with like a Home Depot machete. And I guess she's killed. And then I kind of blacked out, and the next thing I have, the next line of notes I have is, what the hell is with the S&M? I honestly don't know what I was referring. I think there was some sort of sex scene, and like there's all this S&M going. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. I forget. And then I wrote, I wonder how many of these actors were in Stargate shows, and so
you're just trying to entertain yourself at this point.
And then I wrote, forget that. How many of the sets did they straight up use from that show?
Yeah.
And I typed in the chat GPT. I'm like, this sounds like a good AI thing. So I said, correlate for me the actors in this show and this movie. And there weren't as many as I thought. There were like 3 or 4, but still. But the sets, oh my goodness, the sets, Zach. I'll get there a second.
You're so excited to tell me. You're speechless right now.
I partway through the movie, I asked ChatGPT. Actually, I'm like, "Dear robot in the sky, why in the world does this movie look like a TV show from the 90s, from the 2000s? And it said, actually, lots of people are asking this question, and here's all these reasons why: the lighting and it has the look and the feel, the sound design, the cinematography, everything. If you've ever seen Andromeda or Babylon 5, or honestly some of the Stargate stuff, it's the same. It's all the same.
Mhm.
Like kind of like vaguely pastel lights in the background, and no depth of field of the camera at all. It's just all it's bad. Anyway, they're going through space, and they come across Jason, I guess. I'm trying to remember what happens. They this is where I blacked out. And so they take Jason from this is sorry, I missed something. We're jumping forward 400 years. So Gal is frozen, Jason's frozen. 400 years in the future, humans come across this place again on because they're going from Earth 1 to Earth 2 because Earth 1 is crapped out, and they take Jason on board, and like he's in the cryo chamber, but this gal is just frozen next to the cryo chamber, and apparently that's good enough to keep you alive for 400 years. And so they take him on ship, and Jason thaws out and starts, killing people, and they thaw her out, and they and she's like, he's gonna kill people, and they're like, whatever. And
now at any point in this movie did anybody go, be well? You get the reference at all? No.
Be well? No.
You've never seen Demolition Man?
No.
Dude, you've never seen Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes and Sandra Bullock in Demolition Man?
No.
Dude,
I try to avoid Sylvester Stallone.
No. This week, you need to watch this movie. It's wild. I love this movie. You will too. I'm hyping it up a lot. You're going to love this movie.
I'll check it out.
Yes.
So the thing that cracks me up when Jason wakes up, though, before he starts killing people, he's on the surgical table, passed out, just melted, and he suddenly wakes up because he senses someone having sex out of wedlock. Like literally, these two people like start kissing, and he'll just his eyes pop open. He's like, "What?" Yeah. He goes to and kills them. Anyway, he ends up killing them off one by one in kind of boring ways. But except a couple that like the freezing with the woman's head and liquid nitrogen, that was kind of cool. And then that was kind of neat. And then the pilot being dismembered everywhere, like his body was like all over the place. Yeah, that was cool, but he didn't see anything cool. So lots of hand wavy stuff like that in this movie. Like thing happened in the background or whatever. And he continues to be unstoppable because I guess genetics or something. That's what I wrote down. Until a hot android comes along looking badass and having bullets on her shirt and stuff. And she flips around a bit and shoots him in fancy ways with guns, using guns with infinite bullets. And she does some really cheesy cartwheels.
Yep.
Makes snarky comments, shoots off his arm, a leg, half of his head, and he goes down. And they're like, this, we're done. We finally got him.
Yeah, because this is the problem. It's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Just shoot him in the head. It's like the premise of every zombie movie. It's right. Like it is the number one kill shot. But when you're like, oh well, let's waste bullets by shooting them in the chest as if that's gonna happen. Like he is a regenerative serial killer.
Yeah.
Like you gotta just shoot him in the head. You gotta sever that spinal cord at the neck, cut his head off.
Well,
but apparently
they finally did that, but they didn't apparently get quite enough of it.
No, they didn't.
And they did the stereotypical horror thing of, oh God, he's taking care of and walk away. You know?
Instead double of taking him off the nanobot table, you mean?
Double tap and take him off the nanobot table.
Yeah, and launch his hind end into friggin' space, dude.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Immediately put him in a pod and press eject.
Then I wrote down, then the movie remembers it's on a spaceship in space and something hull leak or impending implosion. And surprise, lady from the past has a genius idea because she's an outsider. Double surprise, Jason starts to regenerate or something with the help of nanobots.
Yeah.
Insert nanobots song by the movie Giants.
Grow the nanobots up.
And then I put, great, there wasn't enough flesh to regenerate Jason, so the computer used alloys or whatever and made him basically covered in impenetrable armor.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And at least he punched the android's head right off. But then the dude who's in love with the android carries around her head. It's weird.
Uh-huh.
It had Spaceball vibes. So they're all about to die, and one of the forgettable cast members blows a hole in the ship or something, and Jason is gone? Question mark. Surprise! He's not dead. Punches a hole in the ship, and they all try to keep the almost show her boobs gal from flying into space, but it doesn't work.
Oh no!
She's holding on, and like as the air is being sucked through this grate on the whole side of the ship, she's holding on for dear life, and then she randomly, like she's like, they're doing this like this fingertip trying to grab her fingertip thing, and she's just a little bit far away, and then she randomly launches herself forward where they could have grabbed her, and she says, "This sucks on so many levels," and then she gets sucked out of the spaceship through a steel grate, and it shows like little bits of flesh on the steel grate.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Anyway, and then there are 3 people left, and plus the robot head, and the ship comes to rescue them. And then I wrote this out, and I sent it to you at the same time. Oh dear God, will this movie please decide what it wants to be and just do it so it can end? Dear God. They have this. They have to distract Jason while the spaceship doors open, and they use their holodeck, I guess it is, to trick Jason into thinking he's back on Crystal Lake. And
that's such a funny scene.
It is, because the simulation shows him 2 young women who like take off their tops like every Friday the 13th movie. And they like, we could smoke some pot and have premarital sex. We love premarital sex.
Dude, it's so funny. It's so funny.
And then they hop in their sleeping bags, and he grabs some like pillows and like starts banging them against each other.
Yeah. He just like swinging that girl and beating her against the other. It's so good.
And then I wrote in my notes, I can't believe I'm saying any of this.
Yeah.
Like the words are, anyway. So then 2 people ahead survive, and the main ship blows up, and the security guy knocks Jason off course, and the 2 of them burn up in the atmosphere of another planet. I assume it's Earth 2. And cut to a young couple in the woods down on that planet who are definitely going to have premarital sex, watching Jason streaming through the sky, thinking he's a fallen star. And the girl says, "He landed in the lake." Guy says, "Let's go check it out." Cut to Jason's mask, his new like metal one, floating down to the bottom of obviously of a fish tank in the guy's in like the producer's office. End of movie. So the best line of the episode, I mean movie, sorry. The best line of the movie is, "Lucky you weren't alive during the Microsoft conflict. We were beating each other with our severed limbs."
Amazing.
It's like, I wouldn't even know what it means.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it means, because it's supposed to be ridiculous.
And so box office, 17 million, budget 14 million. Not a great showing. IMDb gave it a 4.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes 19%, audience 25%, Metacritic 25 out of 100, and Letterboxd 2.1.
Steve, I'm
stinker movie, dude.
I'm having a hard time. Well, here's the thing. I'm having a hard time understanding why this movie is not at least 4 stars for you. It sounded like you had a ton of fun watching it.
You don't know how long it took me to get through this movie.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was entertaining in a MST3K kind of way.
Yeah.
But I just kept thinking like what you always say is who greenlit this?
Yeah.
Who said this is a great idea?
And how many levels did it need to go through? But everyone was like, yep, 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 yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. Everyone.
I mean,
nobody had a qualm. Nobody was like, well, maybe we shouldn't. Everybody was like,
it is
green light.
It is the 10th movie of an iconic horror franchise, and you're going to do this to it? It's unconscionable.
And what's crazy is like the last iteration of this movie was Jason Goes to Hell. How did you retrieve him from hell? Because he died. I watched that movie. He went to hell.
Alternate timeline, man.
And now he's in space.
Yeah.
Like I love the concept of taking these iconic horror franchises and launching them into space. So this upcoming this upcoming October on my list is I'm gonna start watching the Leprechaun series. So last October, or no, 2 Octobers ago, I think I started to watch the Child's Play series. Last October, I went Child's Play 2. This October, Child's Play 3. I'm slow burning Chucky. But in the Leprechaun series, at some point, it's Leprechaun in space.
Oh, really?
And I can't wait to get there.
I've
think that at one point, every one of these iconic villains have to have an in-space movie. Don't roll your eyes. That was such a big eye roll. Oh my gosh, dude. They got to do it. If for no other reason, just to be completely stupid about it.
Well, we need a Freddy in space then.
Yeah, Freddy, Michael. We already got the Leprechaun. We need Chucky in space. That'd be a great premise for the Chucky TV series.
You keep using words around this topic like great and gotta, and it's going to be hilarious, wonderful, and all this. Wrong words, dude. No.
Listen. Did you have fun describing this movie to me?
I did, yeah.
Then knock it off. Okay? Great and have to are necessary words to describe this movie. Sure, it took you 8 days to get through this movie. But you having fun now? You're on this side of it, Steve.
I don't want to talk about it.
Come on.
End of review. How did you like the movie that I assigned you?
Okay, so Steve, you assigned me the movie Apostle.
Mm-hmm.
This movie was a stinker from the very get-go because I was waiting for Jesus to show up, and Jesus did not show up, dude. I thought this movie would be about the Apostle Paul, maybe in the book of Acts, and nothing, dude. Nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just kidding. That's not at all what I wrote down. Okay. Movie The Apostle, 2018. I believe that this movie is exclusively a Netflix movie. I don't know that it had a theater run at all.
I don't think it did.
I think it was just a straight to DVD, straight to VHS movie.
Yeah.
79% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, though. But a 53% upset popcorn bucket audience score. So very different audience reaction. 3.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd, 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb. So those are more, I wouldn't necessarily say, they're upper middle ground.
Yep.
Dan Stevens and Michael Sheen are in this movie, which fantastic.
Very.
Dan Stevens plays a character called Thomas, and Michael Sheen plays a character called Malcolm. And I'm just going to go on record and say anything that Michael Sheen is in, out of the park.
Dude kills it.
the dude goes full balls of the wall, and
Yep.
and his range as an actor, amazing. Anyway,
And have you heard have you heard that he is a nonprofit actor?
what
He calls
he
himself
doesn't?
I think like a not for profit. So every movie he makes now, he's like, I've made enough money. So whenever his money that he gets, he donates all of it to charity.
Dude,
Every acting gig he gets now. I'm like, I love you so much.
fantastic.
Yeah, he's
Should we
great.
add him to the list? Are we adding him to the list?
1,000%.
Okay, there it is. You've heard it here first,
Yeah.
folks. We have to at least every episode we got to shout him out. This is the moment. Justin Long, Nicolas Cage, Shaquille
Shaq.
freaking O'Neal,
Yeah.
and now Michael
Sheen.
Sheen. They have open invitation to be on this podcast.
Absolutely.
Open invitation to be on this podcast. Yeah. Okay. Letterbox synopsis of this movie. A drifter on a dangerous mission to recover his kidnapped sister tangles with a sinister religious cult on an isolated island.
Mm.
I have nothing to add to that synopsis. Perfect synopsis.
Pretty good.
It gives you, because typically underneath that, I will write my own synopsis. I have nothing to add. I think that is perfectly, that's a perfect way to put it.
Yep.
Okay, so this film is set in 1905. The movie takes place on a secluded island where a religious cult leader named Prophet Malcolm Howe is preaching a quote-unquote new gospel. Basically, this new gospel is like complete freedom. Freedom from the king, freedom from taxes, and basically freedom from the law, except for what Malcolm decides is the law.
Right.
Like, let's be honest with ourselves. And Malcolm has kidnapped Jennifer, Thomas's sister, for ransom. I'm not overly too sure specifically why they want money, but that's neither here nor there. You about to say
the reason is that they're not making any money because their crops aren't growing, stuff's not working, so they've got to have money to run the cult, and they think that this family has a lot of money because they're like lords or something, but they don't have any money really. So they think they're going to get money from her so they can run the cult.
But that premise doesn't entirely make any sense to me because, like, money is not it. Like, money is just money. You need, I don't know. I think you just smuggle in food if you wanted to really, I don't know.
But where are you going to buy the food?
Because you're going to smuggle it in. You're going to go because you already have people on, like, in England. I'm assuming that this takes place in some sort of UK country, like
an island off, yeah.
Yeah, like they have people in England who are recruiting people to this new way, this revolution, this new way of thinking, and they ship people from transport people from the island of England to this other smaller island, which is quote unquote not owned by the government. And I'm like, freaking the king owns everything. Knock it off.
It's a bit of a callback to the original Wicker Man, which takes place on an island off of the coast of the UK. And there's kind of a cult situation. So, I mean, if you watch it again, and there is some more detail, like here and there, that it's kind of a toss away lines about why they need the money and all that.
Right. So Thomas goes and infiltrates the community and tries to blend in, all while he tries to find his sister. While blending in and trying to find Jennifer, he basically uncovers some sinister things that are kind of going on in the island, or in the community, about, like, why their crops are not necessarily growing. There's some evil witch lady who needs to be fed in order for crops to be blessed, or I don't really know. Okay.
Well, the lady is she's not evil though. That's the thing. She's the spirit of that island, and they are treating her poorly.
So
That's why their crops aren't growing, etc.
you are explaining. I want to just. We're at the basic end of my review.
Sorry.
Okay? No. I owe you an apology. Okay, Steve. Full transparency. I did not finish this movie. Okay. I did not finish this movie.
Is that bad?
And no,
Okay.
It's not the movie. It's me.
Okay.
It's not the movie. It's me. Like, there's nothing wrong with Jason X. It was you, Steve. It was you all along. The problem is not, unless it's a smoking hot turd. It may be Jason X smoking hot turd. Apostle, not a smoking hot turd. I have not finished it enough to give it a rating, but it is more than likely a 3 and above. Like,
yeah,
I'm not going to go below a 3. I'm not too sure specifically where I land. Let me explain. Religious trauma is very real, Steve. And
that's what you
in a recent discussion that I had with some friends, the settlers of Satan, we were talking about therapy and religious trauma because we all used to go to the same church, and so we have very similar perspectives, but also like we played various roles within that church. So we don't have the same perspective.
Sure.
But having a conversation with those guys, and it's not them. If Shelby's listening to this right now, she's probably feeling bad. She doesn't need to feel bad. It wasn't her. It wasn't Tim. It wasn't Brad. It wasn't any of, it was me. It was me. And I didn't know it at the time. I now know later that it just dug up some stuff.
Really?
I hadn't really thought about that kind of stuff in a long time. And I don't really want to think about that kind of stuff, mainly because there is not going to be any real resolution. The actual resolution that, and this is the same conversation that I have with my therapist. It's the resolution that there needs to be is me having a conversation with them to have a mutual, open-minded conversation about how their actions have affected me and have affected other people.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the only one in the wake of this particular church. And this particular church is not necessarily we're not talking about Westboro Baptist level
right
religious trauma. Or I escaped from Scientology religious trauma.
Yeah.
Like it's not, there are people who have it far worse than me. I still, though, have my own level of religious trauma. And this movie deals with some religious themes. I'm making a suggestion for doesthedogdie.com. You need to have a religious trauma section of your website. If you're going to ask, does the dog die? Does the cat die? Does somebody get beheaded? You also need to add religious trauma. I went to the website. There is no you can vote for, because you can vote for anything. You can vote for any of this, like any one of the subjects that it names. Religious trauma is not one of the subjects that you can name. Not their fault. I'm not blaming anybody. Again, this is me, not somebody else. So the part that basically made me bow out was the killing of that girl named Fionn. She loved a boy named Jeremy, and they got pregnant. They're just a
Right.
young,
Oh,
young teenaged couple.
dude, that was brutal. I forgot about that.
Fion's dad finds out and
Hmm.
basically kills Fion. The dialogue between the two of them was incredibly heartfelt and incredibly heartbreaking. Fion
Yeah.
basically tells her dad that because she is pregnant, what she needs is the love of her father and the understanding of her father. Her father can't see past his religious fervor, his religious worldview. Um, and in an attempt to get rid of the baby that's inside Fion, I don't even think she's showing yet. Like,
No, she's not.
he massacres her. I mean, he's covered in blood. She's just laying there in a pool of her. It's such an incredibly hard because Jeremy, they have this heartwarming moment. They're going to start their own family, and they love each other, and they're confessing their love for each other. And Jeremy is carving this like sign out of wood that says hope, and it's he. She just basically said to him, "Hey, you're going to be a dad. Like, I'm pregnant." He then like, "I have a present for you. I have something to show you." Runs off to go grab this sign that he made. Her dad
Yeah.
comes in, quote unquote, locks the door behind him, even though there aren't any locks in 1905. And yeah, he latches the door, and it makes it appear as though
Yeah.
he's locking the door behind him. But Jeremy comes back, and I stopped it.
Mm.
Like this, so about an hour and 24 minutes into the movie, that's when this scene happens. And up to that point, I think I kind of was feeling that vibe, like
Mm.
the religious trauma side of the overly religious fervor and zeal of people who are clearly wrong in what they're
Right.
doing, and the genuine good-hearted souls who are trying to guide those people and right the ship basically. And yeah, I will attempt I have all the intention in the world of finishing this movie. But at this moment, because I still feel the way that I do, I did not finish it. Um, I actually wanted to plow through. Like I had like 48 minutes left in the movie. I was like, Casey, I need to finish this movie. I went upstairs, turned on my iPad, opened up Netflix, ready to go. And like that scene, I couldn't get past it. It was such a heartbreaking moment. And I was like,
Yeah.
dang it. So, yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
first of all, I
it's a good
apologize.
movie. It's a good
It's-
movie,
yeah.
but it's
So,
not for
yeah.
the religiously traumatized. Like,
And I even remember watching it, and that exact scene, I think I kind of blocked it out, forgot about it. That was hard to get past. I'm
mhm,
with you because the just the visceral depiction of a man who clearly had more love for his beliefs than for his daughter.
right.
That was so obvious, and that's triggering to me because I'm dealing with that myself with my family, as I've mentioned before, and that was hard to get past, and I just kind of moved past it, like kind of like plugged my ears and said la la la,
Uh huh.
and went on past it. But I mean, I'm glad you shared that because I yeah. So I mean, no problem at all. If we ever get if I and I will do the same thing. If I come across something I'm like I just can't do this, please don't. You know, and
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm fully putting it on myself. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not saying that like I'm not even putting it on the movie. It's not anyone's
yeah,
um
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was also like just surprising to me because sometimes you don't fully know what you're going through until something kind of slaps you in the face and you're like, oh crap, I am feeling this. I didn't put language to it. I didn't put words to it, whatever it is. And or I was blocking it out, and now it is suddenly kind of brought to the forefront. And yeah, this movie was one of those things that kind of did that. And I was like, I can't watch this movie for what it is until I'm back to normal, until I'm not, at least not feeling the way that I'm feeling as strongly as I'm feeling it. Because, it is trauma that I'm feeling. And to some degree, I'm not overly too sure that you get over that stuff, more that you learn to live
you learn how to
differently
deal
with it and learn how to manage it. And that's why I'm not even putting the way that I feel on my friends or the conversation that we had. Like, it's not it's not them. We were having an honest, innocent conversation that in the moment I did not know, hey, I need to shut this up and stop talking about this. It wasn't until afterwards that I was like, I probably shouldn't have done that. And so,
hey, no worries.
The movie The Apostle is a decent movie. People should go watch it. Michael Sheen does a phenomenal job. Dan Stevens does all of the actors. This is a very good movie. I'm very interested to see how it ends, and what will happen with it. But
you haven't gotten to the headache scene either, but that's probably that might be possibly as traumatizing.
Yeah,
because it's religious based.
I also may just parcel this out. Just go 15 minutes here, 5 minutes there. We'll chunk it out. I'm not really too sure, but anyway, I'm not trying to bring the podcast down either. Like, I'm just acknowledging the way that I feel. And
this is real life, man. We're dealing with real life stuff.
I couldn't plow through. I couldn't just, because sometimes you can just kind of put your head down, keep your nose to the grindstone, and just get through the fire.
I would not recommend that you force yourself to do that. That's not healthy either.
It's not. But so in this moment, I was just like, and that was the thing that did it. That was like that. The fact that she literally said, it wasn't even that she was struggling and fighting back against her dad. It was the fact that she looked at her dad and actually said, like, I need you.
Mm-hmm.
I need you in this moment. And her dad could not see past his own religious fervor to, see his own daughter, which coincidentally enough, we're recording this on the first day of Pride Month. So, like, I mean, there's a lot of people who go through this very thing, not in a movie, but actually in reality. And so shout out to them for keeping on, like, yeah, because it's one thing for it to be in a movie, and it's a very different thing for it to be in reality. And I don't have that particular moment. Like, I do have it religiously. The people that you kind of count on in your particular church, in your particular community, to, help guide you and all of that kind of stuff. When the rug is pulled out from underneath you, it's incredibly jarring, and quote unquote, their true colors show through. And you yesterday were an insider, and now today you are an outsider.
Right.
Yeah, because of the rules that they freaking made up. They made up. And because they made them up, they can make up new ones.
Right.
They could choose to make up new ones, but they don't. They choose to stick to the ones that they already made up.
Yeah.
And it's not cool.
Not cool.
It's not
Well,
cool. Anyway, so that's. I'm sorry to bring the house down, but
no, this is great. I mean, this is this is what I'm going to talk about. This is what I wanted to have this podcast for as well. This is to me, this is the one of the coolest parts of being able to talk about these movies, because it's not just about, hey, here's what happened in this movie. Here's it's good or bad, but I like seeing ways that the things that I'm watching, the entertainment that I'm taking in, how it impacts my actual life.
mm-hmm.
Because not that these are like they're not, the movies aren't designed to like change your life, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's more about, I like to see how movies move
Mm-hmm.
a person. Sometimes it's humor, sometimes it's like it's forcing you to confront a thing, or um, maybe you come out of the backside of it and you're like, wow, I've been really treating this group of people poorly, or I don't know. That's the
Right.
kind of thing that's really neat. I think is really neat. And looking back, I think that's one of the reasons I like the movie Midsommar so much, because it's about a cult, and she goes into this cult, and she doesn't realize all this stuff that they're doing, some crazy stuff. It's messed up, but they all have reasoning for it, right? There's reasoning for it all. It's like it's the right way to do things. It's been done for hundreds and thousands of years, the way it's done, and how dangerous it is for her, uh, and how it's bad, and then she can get sucked into it, and then she starts believing it, and
Yeah.
I can see that whole thing. But I mean, I don't didn't mean to get off on topic, but yeah. So no worries, man. We will uh move on.
Right. Yeah. And I'll revisit it at some point. I will, at least post on Letterboxd my particular number that I'm going to give this movie. It is, the acting in it is really good. The drama of the movie is very good. Um, but like I said, my own personal mental state was not in this moment conducive to really some of the religious themes of the movie. And mainly the religious themes of the movie that I'm talking about are like the overzealous,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't even know how to say what I'm trying to say. Though there are similarities between what this prophet Malcolm is doing and what the church denomination that I was a part of was basically about.
Yeah.
And that crossover was too much when you start to really dig up and re-feel some of the religious trauma that I felt. And so, yeah,
Yeah, I usually watch the movie again, like the week before we talk about it, because I haven't seen Apostle in a while.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I should go back and check that out, because I'm in a different phase of my personal religious whatever
Mm-hmm.
journey, whatever you want to call it, and so I'm in a different place now, and I wonder if I watch it now, what my takeaways will be.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't, that's as far as I got into the movie. I got an hour and 24 minutes in. I think literally, like, Jeremy comes into the house, he drops the sign, he's
Yeah, it's
staring
heartbreaking.
the dad, the dad, I think the last line that I heard was you you basically ruined my beautiful daughter. You put your dirty seed in my beautiful daughter. And I was like, stop, done, I'm out. I don't know what happens to Jeremy. I'm assuming he dies, because why wouldn't he? It would make complete sense for the dad to go full nuts and just slaughter everyone. But yeah, man, the freaking fact that we're not done with that crap is like, wow,
I
to me.
know.
Maybe it's just the human condition. We could go on and on and on more than talking about The Exorcist and like all of the other stuff. Like I feel much stronger about this particular topic than any other topic. But again, talking about this kind of stuff it doesn't produce any positive fruit to me because it only just continues
Goes
to
around
dig
in
up.
circles.
So I'm just going to be done and we should just move on to like the summer stuff because that's what we're here to do next.
Moving on.
So basically, we had an idea to, in the month of June, because I think like June 21st or whatever it is the quote unquote beginning of summer, the summer solstice, the midsummer or whatever, that we would do summer themed horror movies. So not movies that came out in the summer, but movies that have to directly are set in the summer or whatever, like Jaws and Sleepaway Camp. And I Know What You Did Last Summer and things like that. And so we I at least scoured a couple lists, put together like 28 movies for Steve and I to choose from specifically. So yeah, July or June 7, 14, 21, and 28 will be, that's the, so 8 movies apiece. And so yeah, Steve, what out of that list, what are you going to give me?
I lost the list.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
But hold on. I know I'm going to give you.
Maybe is
it's
it in the same
list.
place that the frickin' stickers went? So people who don't know will just Steve Sticker Mule had a deal. What was it, like 52 inch or 52-inch stickers for $20 or whatever it is. Steve was like, "Hey, we should get our logo in sticker form. It'll be great." Okay, fine. So I pay Steve he orders the stickers and freaking literally loses them like a day after they get delivered. Immediately. And without looking for the 2-inch stickers, Steve orders 3-inch, 53-inch stickers.
It's on sale.
Because they're on sale. He admittedly goes, "I have a problem with sticker mule deals. Like I have a compulsive disorder." Look, I think he loses the 3-inch stickers and then finds everything. And it's in this drawer in this house that everybody just puts stuff whenever it's out of place or whatever the case is. And so that's my callback, is me asking, "Hey, is the link that's in your freaking text messages in your phone, like, so don't tell me you lost it, because I freaking know where it is, Steve." Gosh, oh my gosh.
It's in the text messages somewhere, but
unbelievable.
I mean, we text a lot, dude. So I mean, it's a long list, a long.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Boomer, I don't have time for this. Give me the movie. Just
so this what am I? Oh, dude. Oh, you did not go there.
Did I just trigger you? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but also not sorry.
I'm going to pretend like none of that happened, and I'm going to say, "Yeah, Zach. So I was looking at your list, and I don't remember if this is in the list or not because I totally have it, but I just forgot to check it."
Okay.
It.
The original or extra crispy?
The movie It, Part 1.
Yeah, the original with Tim Curry.
No, not that's the crappy TV version in the 80s.
Let's not crap on Tim Curry. Out. He is a gem.
Well, I'm not crap on Tim Curry. Sorry, that's the wonderful classic version in the 80s. I mean, It, Chapter 1, that came out just like in 2017.
Yeah, I have already seen that movie, Steve.
Would you please freaking update? Damn it!
Okay, so here's
I
the deal.
swear, I'm gonna kill you.
Okay, well, that's why you live so far away from me. Okay.
Okay.
That's why we talk to each other the way that we do is because we live far away from each other. We can't actually interact with each other. Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to send you the list. So
I was all excited about it. I'm like, that's perfect. I can't believe you haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, here we go. Hold on. And then we'll go
I
here.
mean, I see the link you sent me to Frankenhooker. But...
Dude, Frankenhooker, I need to watch that movie. It's so funny. All right, so share link with Steve. There it is. Okay. Now I'll go over here to It and It Chapter 2 because I've seen both of them. Watch. Okay, so there's that one, and then where's the other one now? It Chapter 2. Watch. Okay, Steve, there you go, buddy. I've updated. Now get the heck off my back about it.
Okay.
I told you last time I have a terrible reputation with Letterboxd.
Okay, I'm gonna give you this one.
Here we go.
I'm really hoping you haven't seen this because it says you haven't seen it and that you want to see it.
I have only seen 1, 2, 3, 4. I've only seen 4 movies out of this list.
I would like you to watch It. It Follows.
I have never seen that movie.
It Follows, 2014.
It Follows. Great. I'm gonna because I also forget what movies you've assigned me. I'm immediately gonna put it on my watch list.
It's on Netflix Prime streaming. Netflix and Prime streaming, sorry.
Got it.
And Paramount Plus and Showtime streaming. Everywhere else you can rent it. Yeah, okay, good. Glad we got that figured out.
Yes, that was very entertaining. Please keep all of that in the podcast. That's just so ridiculously funny. Okay. Here we go, Steve. I'm going to spin the wheel of destiny and we'll see what you get.
Okay.
Here we go. The suspense is.
You need like the Jeopardy music.
Yeah. I mean, there is technically like a da-da at the end.
Yeah.
All right, Steve. Your movie is the classic I Know What You Did Last Summer. Have you seen this movie?
I've not.
There you go. I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's your movie.
I've heard it referenced in the same breath as Scream. Came out around the same time.
I think it has similar vibes. Yes. Unlike I'm not too sure that this is more serious, where Scream is more just
right. That's
self-conscious. Like it's aware that horror movies exist, and this is more just pure 90s slasher or early 2000s slasher.
Yeah. Cool.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. Sweet. Okay. Anyway, that's it. We should probably share the summer list on our Instagram so people can follow along and watch some of the movies. Yeah. And if you, I think I post up on our Instagram that like what movies we watch or we have assigned each other. And if you want to call in or email us about those movies, you can do that.
Have you seen this movie? I Know What You Did Last Summer. It says that you haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. Is this another thing? Oh my gosh. Okay, Steve. Well, let's be done with the podcast now. And I clearly have to update my letterbox.
Go through at least the list you gave me. At least that.
I need to go through all 58,000 horror movies and just update whether I've seen them or not. Good night. It's going to take me forever. Anyway, in the meantime, don't forget to smash that like button. Good night. Okay. Well, we'll see you guys next week. All right, listeners, that's a wrap for another episode of Horrors Yet Unseen. Thanks for joining us.
And we'd love for you to become part of the conversation. Just drop us a voicemail at 1-216-202-5495 or email us at horrorsyetonunseen@gmail.com. And keep up with the latest by following us on Instagram. That handle is at horrorsyetonunseenpod. We'd also appreciate it if you like and review our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Your support means a lot to us. See you next time.